Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. Hello, everybody. I'm so grateful to be with you today, and I have an amazing guest, very magical man. Wow, you're going to really want to tune in this time. He's going to be doing some transmissions, I want to say. He's going to be doing a meditation. We're calling it a meditation. I'm sure it'll be transmissions, of course, always, right? These deep ones. So we're going to definitely be getting some transmissions from him. And also we're doing, of course, a full energy scan show as I typically do them otherwise. So I'm grateful to have you here today. This guy is tuned in. I'll let him tell you, but he's tuned into all kinds of energies, the Lemurian Light Energies, and just cool, really different frequencies. Like he's one of the few people on the planet doing this sort of work he's doing in the way he's doing it. So very unique. So I'm looking forward to really diving in with him today. Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate Make Money meditation today. So Hillis, it's a great honor to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Daniel. Such an honor and pleasure to be here, to be present in this space with you. And I can't wait to express the wisdom and magic that is set for the show for everyone to receive for today.
Cool. Awesome. Me too. All right, let's get into talking more about Hillis. So Hillis Pugh is an author, teacher, speaker, and holistic practitioner, utilizing the gifts and tools to empower others on their journey. The reason why he chose to do this work is to guide others on their path, to let them know they are not alone. Hillis mentors each soul on their path to lift them up so they can see what he sees beyond the physical realm, see beyond. Hillis Pugh is an energy facilitator working with modalities such as Psychic Mediumship, Reiki, and Lemurian Light Energy to co-create a deeper connection to the soul. He says we work together in universal sync of exploration of your inner space to be expressed outwardly. Okay, so Hillis, again, it's a great honor to have you on the show today. We're going to talk for a little bit and get into doing the energy scanning and all the rest. Like I said, that meditation, don't miss that meditation. But don't miss the rest of the show, because there's huge things, each segment, each thing that we're doing, huge things I'm sure will come through for so many of you. So you don't want to miss anything. Tune into the entire show. And as always, I'll just say extra today. I don't usually say this. Make sure you share this show with as many people as possible, because the more we can get into the connected energy of the beyond through, energy scanning, but also certainly through what Hillis will be doing as well, the more awakening that's happened, the more people remember, oh, yeah, I remember now. So we definitely want more of that. So Hillis, let's talk about you now. How long have, tell me about your journey. We talked a little bit about it on a private call, but tell us about your journey. I mean, did you, I'll just for fun, I'll say, did you come into the world consciously aware I'm just cosmic being and I'm here to do all this Lemurian work and whatnot? Like, what was it? What was that like versus, what was your journey to getting to doing the work you're doing today?
I wish I came into this world knowing what I know now, but at some point, in the next incarnation, that will happen. But as of now, as children, there were these moments where I knew there was something more, something greater, and allowed myself to see spirits and connect with spirits, my imaginary friends, if you will.
Yeah.
But as I grew up and really started accessing the energies around me, started with the foundation of gratitude and really understand gratitude, and then moving into the law of attraction and the law of vibration, to really understanding the fields of resonance and how we allow what we allow and how we bring in what we bring in through those frequencies, through that field of resonance that sits in us and around us, that's emanated from our heart space. And as I really allowed myself to open up and move forward into the exploration of that space, there was always this thing called intuition. But that's just the beginning of the exploration of my psychic mediumship, of really opening up to the space of the higher consciousness, the space of the Akashic records, because everything that exists has already existed, if that makes sense. Meaning that it's always happening now, past, present, future, it's all present. And so it's in that space of understanding that when we know that everything has already happened, or everything has happened, or everything is happening, we allow for that knowing to come in. We allow for this innate ability of our psychic mediumship to connect to ourselves, to connect to our souls, to receive the answers that we wish to receive. And then as I really honed that ability, it really allowed me yet to open up another door to use the fields of energy around me to be of service to other people, to clear them of their traumatic uh, wounds, if you will, their shame, their pain, their guilt, anything that was keeping them in the resonance of a lower vibrational frequency. And it is, through my own personal journey that I allow myself to see and to feel and to know that there's something more here. If we, dump the baggage, if you will, if you said that these experiences served me, but they no longer serve me, they're just a story that we tell. And so when you change the story, you change your life. And that's something that I've been witness to many times with the people I work with.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. You change the story, you change your life. Absolutely. And with you, it's the story, but it's also the energy at a foundational level as well, isn't it? Just
Oh
tell
yeah. Oh
about
yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah. So what do you do? How do you change people? So there's the usual, like, yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to change people's perspective and mindsets, and that can happen too through the energy, obviously, as well. But how do you foundationally help clear these traumas that people have? Like, I have so many questions. I usually have like 10 questions all at once. But how do you do that? Maybe I should even ask, like, what are the most, okay, so the first question actually I'm having is to ask you, what are the type of traumas that people tend to have that come to you? Are there all different varieties, or do they tend to be particular certain ones? And then I have follow-up questions from there. So
Well, you know, it's interesting because there's all spectrums of trauma that we experience, whether if it's, family trauma, mental abuse, emotional abuse. But the most common one that I seem to get, the spirit knows I can handle it because it's very deep, very scarring, and uh, puts us on many levels, keeps us stagnant on many levels. Is the sexual abuse. I
Mhm.
work with a lot of clients who deal with that. And through my personal experience of really understanding what that is and how it penetrates and permeates just our mental capacity and our emotional state of being on everyday life, I mean, it's profound in how people who carry this, how they go through every day as if that never happened. There's
Yeah.
a strength, there, there's a resilience that I see in these people, that I see in myself, that is unheard of on the planet when people acknowledge it. And I want to say to people who have experienced this, I want to acknowledge the strength and resilience for moving in the everyday, for you just being that strength for yourself. And when you acknowledge that strength, that's when you begin to change and shift the story.
Mhm. Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I can feel the energy of all that, the traumas. And then I just keep getting that there's this trauma. I'm picking up on your energy, but I'm also feel it's again related to your tribe and everything. There's this sense of um there's a sexual abuse, but then there's like, what's the real root of that? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, like,
Well,
where do you think it comes from in terms of like, I'm going deep, right? Like, I'm in the soul records or whatever, or
well,
Akashic,
the
whatever
thing
you call it. Yeah,
is I want to, and so I'm glad you brought
yeah,
this
yeah.
up because this is something that has been shown to me in recent weeks, actually recent months, like in the past few months, that I've decided to share with my clients. And I was on the phone with one of my clients after concluding our series of sessions, and I was guided to show them this. And it makes so much sense when you step into the energy of compassion and empathy for this process. So what I'm going to, and I want everyone to take notes or to just pay very close attention to what I'm about to express because it's very important, especially now that we are in this space of transition on the planet. So everyone, you can keep your eyes open, but it's best if you take this moment to close your eyes as I take you on this quick little journey. Just imagine yourself sitting at a round table with your soul family, with your parents, your mother, your father, your uncle, your grandmother, your sisters, your brothers, your best friends, your teachers, any and everyone who's going to impact you upon your life. And in front of them is a piece of paper. And this piece of paper is their contract to you and what they would do in the fulfillment of their role, their purpose to you, assist you, remembering who you are. And everyone goes and say, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. And then you get to the one who has to be the abuser. And they look at their piece of paper. They're like, no, I can't do this. I cannot inflict harm upon you. As much as I love you, as much as I care for you, there is no way that I'm going to commit this vile act upon you. There's no way. And you look at them and you say, you must, to help me remember who I am, to help me remember my power, to help me remember my strength. Because as you know, when we get to this space, the school of earth, that we no longer remember who we are. So you have this great job, this most important job, me remember myself, remember my soul. And I'm pleading with you, brother, I'm pleading with you, sister, help me so I can step into my strength. And with this, they have agreed to sign this contract to you. And we move forward into the incarnated lives. And as we move into this incarnated life, we remember nothing of this conversation. We remember nothing of our life before we incarnated. And we go through life having years of abuse, emotional, mental, physical, sexual, whatever this is. We are punishing ourselves. We are punishing the abuser. We are keeping this deep within ourselves, not knowing what to do with it. But yet we feel the shame and the guilt because of everything that we've endured. And yes, we seek help. Yes, we seek out the people who can help us unburden ourselves. And in this process of unburdening, we begin to remember who we are. We begin to tap into that strength and that resiliency of who we are. And once we unburden ourselves, we go through the rest of our lives remembering our strength, stepping into our power. And as we move into the space of transition, as we transition in our life back into the soul space, we are greeted by our soul family. And we are greeted by the one who we chose to play this role in our life. And we thank them. We have compassion for them. I say, I thank you, brother. I thank you, sister, for your commitment to me. And having that strength to do so and not remembering, but yet being driven by this energy to do something is not in your character. I honor you for keeping your word to me. And I have great compassion and empathy for you. And for this, you will strive and bloom and grow into something much more beautiful than you ever imagined. And then this interaction is complete. And just take a breath in this moment and open your eyes and just feel that. Feel the energy of that, because the reason why this is expressed in this way is that we always put blame on the one who hurts us. But it is also in that knowing of compassion. It's like, wait a minute, this is something that had to be done. This is something that I realize now, because everything isn't always black and white. And that is the gray area that we have to allow ourselves to venture into.
Mm. Yeah, that is really, really helpful. I mean, I was brought up somebody I felt terrorized by or whatever, and I was able to see that perspective more clearly. Like there's people say forgive them, it's also contracts and this and that, and but the way you did it, like it helped people to feel that compassion and realize this is actually an unfoldment sort of for the highest good for everything. Ultimately, like there's this big thing happening, this bigger picture that's beyond
Yeah,
our minds, right? So
yeah.
yeah,
A-
yes, really
And,
beautiful.
you know, I didn't expect to be as emotional today as I am. We all have our bullies. We all have these people in our lives. We all have someone or something that we encounter that we feel we can't get over or can't, release or let go. And when I was shown this unfolding a few months ago, it just made much more sense in how I interact with my life with people and how my clients interact with people and how I interact with everything else. Because it is in that space where everything is said and done, which I want to go back to this, how I really allow for my psychic abilities to kick in because everything has already occurred. It is just in that space of tapping into the knowing that it's already said and done, knowing that it's already complete. Once we have moved into the space of acceptance, like, it's not as bad as I make it seem to me. It's better than what I thought it ever could be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just essentially, and I know I'm still guilty of it because we're in the great transition right now. Sometimes we just got to get out of our own way.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I know it's easier said than done. Believe me, I know from experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there's much more to learn about you and your work and everything. We like sort of started with the meditation, which was actually really powerful. I was still doing the whatever you want to do at the end as well, but that so serves everything so deeply. That's so deep. We could talk for an hour just about what just happened and all the aspects of all that. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm more, look, I could come back and we
You
could
be
talk for
game for
2
that.
hours.
I get it. Yeah, it's not the intention of the show, but yeah, that's it's really cool. I'll just say if you're enjoying this, like this is all part of the energy that you can gain from Hillis. If you we'll talk about it later, contact information, everything to look him up, reach out to him, connect with him further. And, you're safe, like he's bringing you into this deeper healing. And so that's what I want to say about all that for right now, to just leave it at that for the moment. And so, yeah, because I could really go on and on. So Hillis, let's talk about like more about how you help people, and then go get into the energy scanning from there. So how did you get into the work you do with the Lemurian energy? So let's talk about that.
Well, it's interesting. After a few years of really, honing my psychic abilities, I said, well, there's something more I must do. There's got to be something more that I could do, just like really enthusiastic. I'm like, what is it? Something more for me. And so I discovered Usui Reiki. So I did level 1. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. I kind of like this. But I'm like, this isn't quite it. There's got to be something more. And so I was on Facebook one day, like doing my social media thing. And I see this post about, if you want to learn X, Y, and Z, this whole description. I'm like, and I'm reading this, 2 paragraph long description. I'm like, my soul lit up. I'm like, I want this. And it was Lemurian Light Energy, or as I like to call it, because, I'm one of 2 teachers that teach this theory in Lemurian energy, because Lemuria has a connection to Sirius. And a lot of people don't know that. And so I even have to talk to my teachers, like, remember, it's not just Lemurian energy anymore, Syrian and Lemurian energy that we are connected to, or that I'm connected to when I bring forth this work. And so just the words and the energies just resonated with me so deeply that I think this is part of my path that I have to allow myself to open to be of greater service to all.
Hmm. Okay, great. Great. What is Lemurian energy for, people that don't know at all, like I'm not an expert on it by any means, but like tell us all more what that actually is.
So to put it simply, Daniel, it's like Reiki, but
Hmm.
to the nth degree, as I like to call it. Reason why? Because there's such unlimited potential with this,
Hmm.
because it allows me not only to connect to the frequencies in my space, the unseen energies, but also connect to the energies of galactic proportions, such as Syrian energy or Arcturian energy or even Earth energy, and even allows me to transmute what people consider, EMF radiation, allows me to transmute that energy into something more, something usable for
Hmm.
me to allow to help others in my space. And so it's just the unlimited potential of this energy, not only just, using sound frequencies and unseen energies and EMF radiation, but it's just offering the space of appreciation for what's there. So as I call this energy into my space and channel it to be of service to other people, because I'm just a channel. Like most people who are energy healers, they're just channels and vessels for the energy to flow through them to be of service as I work with everyone on a soul level. And I think that's what's most important about what's different for me and than from what other people do. Because when I work with people on the soul level, I work with them in that space and bring and then anchor the energy down into the physical body. Of course, with one's permission, as I never do anything without someone's permission.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, so that's good. I mean, that explains how it operates and whatnot, but it's to just make it brief for today. We're tapping into some really expanded energies, galactic energies. If you want to know more about all those terms, if you haven't heard of them before, you've got your friend Google, right? So just leave that for today's purpose.
Sometimes Google doesn't find all
Right.
that. We're too advanced for them.
So yeah, or just reach out to Hillis. They'll tell you more about it. So, yeah. So yeah, let's talk about the work that you're doing. You're helping people. So they come in, they have traumas. A lot of times it's sex abuse is part of it. You bring in this space where everybody's like, oh, I finally feel whole again, right now. There's deep healings happening. Um, and then I would think, like, I don't know what you do in your work, but you would help bring that energy so that they can, stop experiencing abuse on many levels and all these different energy levels. And then instead, they're in a frequency now where it's love, it's abundance, it's bliss, all the usual suspects.
Yeah.
And it's bringing in new relationships, new opportunities, things like that. Is that what happens for your clients? Because that's the vibe I get on it.
Yeah, well, because when people see me, they are riddled with depression, anxiety, doubt, and the usual telltale signs of PTSD, trauma of any sort, shame, guilt, anything that runs the gamut of that field. And so it is when they begin to sit with me and through this process of working with them on a soul level, because their soul knows all, their soul sees all, which is why I work with them on a soul level. And in this process, with trauma, we cover up or suppress memories, if you will, or repress memories. And during this process, these memories are often surfaced. They surface in the process. And with me being connected with them, I see what they see, especially if it's real traumatic. And I guide them through the process of letting that go and allowing them to accept what occurred in that space and to not be so harsh on themselves, because I feel that that's part of the process in society as a culture that, know, oh, well, that never happened. Oh, well, you can't do that. Oh, we don't talk about that in my family. Even though there's these spaces of awareness, it's just not talked about. And I feel that that's part of the conversation that has to be had, because there's a lot of shame around that. But when you have trauma, and you have shame compounded on top of that, it's just so much that's one person holds, which is why when I speak to people, first I have to remind them of their strength and resiliency for that, because people forget how strong they are. They carry so much. And it is in that strength that it's like, yeah, you're right. I didn't see it at first. And so it's just not only allowing for a new perspective, but also a space where they begin to honor themselves, really begin to allow for the transformation that they truly want to occur. Like I said, I connect with them on a soul level. I communicate with them and bring in what their soul is asking for. And it is in that communication that all is expressed. And it is in that space where the transformation begins, and then it begins to be expressed in the physical.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. So they get all different levels of healing and
Oh,
emotional,
yeah.
physical, all kinds of things. That's the energy clears, obviously. So,
It's like some people call it the energetic car wash.
cool. That's great. That's great. So, and then, from my understanding, you work with people exclusively for now, more or less, through like one-to-one doing attunements and healing and whatnot. Is that true?
I do. I primarily do one-on-ones because there's a greater benefit to one-on-one sessions. I do some virtual group sessions, which is a common theme. And I also do attunements. As I mentioned before, I am one of two teachers of the Syrian Lemurian Energy. There's only a handful of us right now that practice this, and I'm just honored to be one of two teachers that teach this attunement. But it's always more beneficial for one-on-one, because you get special, one would say special, you get my full attention. You get
Mm-hmm.
your soul's full attention. You get source,
Mm-hmm.
spirit, universe's full attention when we're
Mm-hmm.
in this sacred space of allowing you to see past the trauma, to see past the pain, and see the love, because everything begins and ends with love. And once we see that and understand that, everything else opens up to a greater perspective.
Right. Right, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, if you've been dealing with trauma that you haven't been able to, move through, definitely I would advise you to work with Hillis, it sounds like. So it sounds like my guess with you is like certain people do come in. I've done all the clearing, I've done this, I've done that. I don't know, like
I
I
get
just
that
am
all the
guessing.
time. I get
Yeah,
honestly, I get that all the time, and people say like, I tell them, you haven't worked with me.
right, right.
And it is in the consultative process that I begin the relationship. I often tell people that when you make the choice to work with me, even before you pick up the phone, before you send me a text, before you fill out my form, we've already established a relationship because you made that choice to reach out to me. And so
Mhm.
it is in that space that I honor that connection and doing my best abilities in service to you. I mean,
Mhm.
there's no one that I have turned away
Mhm.
because of the work, because I've, and people often ask me, I know it's probably going a little bit off topic, but people often ask me, who is your primary audience? I'm like, everyone. Say, no, 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 it can't be everyone. It's like, why not?
Mhm.
Didn't Jesus help everyone?
Mhm. Mhm.
It
Mhm.
is in that sense of, if someone comes to me or if someone's seeking help, there's no one I'm not going to turn down because you came to me for a reason. And it's in
Right.
that reason that is we discover the relationship of you wanting to be more of your soul self, to be the embodiment of that.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about that. As me as the intuitive business coach and energy scan guy, I see. I mean, you're universal love, right? You're just like, I mean, we all are ultimately, but some of us carry it more strongly than others. And you have a huge, your heart chakra is massively, open, wide, and you've got the big energy with the cosmos as well. So those are like two areas that pop right away as being very strong. You've got the gifts, intuitively to be and energetically to work with energy. So that's really powerful in the third eye, for example, and all that good stuff. And then again, we won't go massively in depth because it's just a briefer show than a full consultation. But and then in the throat chakra, that's where we would start to see maybe some more issues in a sense than others. Like there's issues in every chakra for everybody to some degree. There's always things to work on. But in the throat chakra, it's more, you want to be very there is some of that, I want to be pure, I want to be as true as possible. That all sounds beautiful, right? I mean, it all sounds like not an issue whatsoever, but it's still there is a governor on that throat chakra. Then it's like, okay, it's gotta be a little more like just yeah, where there may be more expression. Let's see, let me tune into that more expression. What would be expressed? Yeah, I could see like more masculine, more power, more emotions too could be expressed through that throat chakra. And I see energy wanted to be released through your shoulders there too. But those are more those some of that energy could feel a bit unsafe for you because you're concerned you don't want to be an abuser. It's the last thing you'd ever want to do is to feel like you're an abuser. So there's going to be anything that gets close to that, like there's more shutdown energy there. So that's what I'm noticing in the throat, the power center. There's sort of a running energy. It's like you've got these lifetimes of like um I just share what comes through, guys. Okay. I'm afraid people are gonna think I'm stereotyping, Hillis, but I see like this running energy, and I do see as like a past life, like I see a number of past life, and probably some of it's this life, certain aspects, like I don't know, like I see like ninja energy, I see martial arts energy, but I also saw like the thief energy, like I see like, all right, I'm smart. I'm a really good thief. Yeah, I could break into that plane. I could get in and out. Nobody will know because it's probably all connected to that ninja energy as well. So you could do very high level energy work. Like if you didn't want people to detect what you were doing, but it was important work to be done. I know everybody says permission, permission. Well, some energy work needs to be done, and sometimes we don't want to be detected because we're doing something for a higher good. But if certain dynamics are aware, I'll just put it that way without doing a long show about it. It could be, dangerous. So we have to do things in a certain way. You know how to do that. So there's all this energy mastery on many levels has been built up through these lifetimes. You're like, yes, you need to jump a high wall, no problem. I'm good. I know how to do those things. It's easy. And so in this lifetime, maybe at times you get interested in the physical. You're like, man, all physical stuff too. And it's very, of course, that'd be very grounding and helpful for you. But you also might shy off of it sometimes too. Be like, yeah, it's more energetic. No, it's more energetic this lifetime. Ultimately, it comes back to that. Like, oh no, it's more energetic. And so that's more what calls a little bit more to you. But yeah, there's like that, like just again metaphorically, if there were like, and I said this probably on the last show to someone else, but like the image does come again, like sort of like a fire breathing dragon in the power center. It's like we just want to play and have fun. We don't want to do the
I have to share a
breathing all that
story with
fire and
you
something,
later.
right? It's like a friendly dragon. It's like
Yeah.
let's have fun. It's more of an inner child dragon, and it's pretty funny that way. It's like let's roll around and play together.
You're
Um,
spot on. I'll just say that yeah.
yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. It actually feels good. It's not like we need to necessarily have it change, but it's very magical. It's very, yeah, it's cool. Let me just leave it at that. Okay, it's like a sage is what I keep hearing. It's a sage wisdom that's in it too, and through it, touching it, playing with it, like it's important. Okay, the sacral, there's still some tightness there with all the traumas and whatnot. As much as you move through it, it's still there could be that sense of perpetual like emotional breakdown. Now you'll experience it not as like, oh my God, 911 alert. It's like no, but it's more like oh, here's another wave, here's another wave, here's another wave. And most of the time you're able to navigate it pretty well, but there may be times when it's a deeper one, and then you're like, I just need to just shut everything down for a while. I just need to just retreat. And then you come back. The energy. So I've seen those cycles and the energy. Let's see, the root chakra. Yeah, I mean, you got some of the high frequency grounded in your so like so you see that going through the root. Um, but in other ways you're not grounded. You're a little bit, you got your strong water, right? So whatever your astrological signs are, you see strong water, you're just like shh, and then earth energy too, but like this where do we go? So this makes sense, and then I'll let you reflect in a moment, but like it makes sense, like your business model, because like it's all universal love. We just let's all just love each other. We don't need to be worried about like this money thing. Come on, it's really important, but then again, it doesn't matter at all. And so you'll be open to, I'm not gonna, yeah, just come on in. We all know like there's a bigger source for everything. We don't need to be concerned too much about this money, although it's important. So so the part of you that knows money is important, I'm not saying anything for sure yet, but usually for someone like yourself, it's not been made important enough yet. It's like we're concerned that we may manipulate or abuse people with it. Like, yeah, it's 1,000 a session, you better pay up or whatever. It's like a bully almost, right? To charge too
Yeah.
much. I was like, no, 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 it's only like $50. Or no, I don't, I'm not saying it's that little, but whatever it is, it's like it's more like, I don't know, what feels good to you, or
Yeah.
I can see you being that person, like what's the level of blessing that you sense it is for you, whatever. I'm free, I'm open, and and it's good. But what I find with that is that then people can't do it as their full-time livelihood, because the money the strength isn't strong enough, and then we're still doing other things while we're trying to build that business up, that livelihood up in that area. When really, if you step more into that strength, of that big dragon energy you have, like you could be having piles of gold and money, and people will be royalty would come to you to get healing. You could be like changing the whole world, because like all these wounded people are like taking all their wounds and being like, "Ha, we can do all this to all these people." Like you can be some of these people that might be open to it, right? So
Yeah.
it'd be giving you huge piles of money if you're willing to receive more. And you could do it a creative way. You could be like, I don't know, what's this worth you? Yeah, I think it's probably worth like millions of dollars. All right, well, then that could be the arrangement. Then it's worth. Well, wait a minute. Now we're getting crazy. I don't know. All right. Well, what's the arrangement? Oh, 200 grand. All right. Let's settle for that. All right. Okay. Great. Feels right for you. Let's do it. Right. But so you could make a lot of money with your approach, but I think you have to be willing to meet, more and more of these more people are having big influence that are traumatized on. So that's just my read on it. So anyway, I shared tons of different information. It felt like I'll let you just reflect on what came through, Hillis, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah. No, you are 100% in where you are, and especially with the throat chakra area. For me, I know there's a lot more expression that can happen. It's just that with the space that I'm in, I'm learning, what a galactic language, what more people consider light language or like, for that to come through. I have to allow myself to understand it, to understand the language, to understand what it is that I speak, to understand. So it's that component that I've been playing with a little bit.
Mhm.
And so in that space of expression, and when I work with my clients, I feel that there's even a greater expression that comes through in that space where my voice drops an octave or two. And I'm like, oh wait, there he is. There's that person. And even just now in that space, I was like, whoop, it just drops in that space. And so it's just honoring that energy. And in regards to the uh, solar plexus, yeah, the dragon energy. I mean, I don't know if you can see, but I have like a dragon
He's got a dragon right
tattoo.
on his arm here for those that
Yeah.
are
And
not
so
seeing
just
video.
really quickly, I'll share this because I had a dream years ago where I can't think of the name of that type of building, but it's a type of Japanese building. And I was a samurai,
Mhm, mhm.
and I was fighting ninja all the way through the building, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. And I get to almost to the top, and the building was on fire, mind you. The uh, stairs drop out, and I had to, and somehow, oh, that's what because I met somebody who I was fighting with years later after I had this dream, and so kind of I in the dream I threw my sword, but I didn't know where it went to, but I threw my sword to someone else who needed it, not knowing that they were there. But anyway,
Mhm.
I get uh to the stairs and I see this whole army. I'm like, it's just me. What am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do now? Next thing I know, I'm breathing fire on this like ninja army. I don't know how many people. And I reach the top and everything's vanquished, everything's done, everyone's defeated. I wake up and my inside and my mouth is warm and wet. I'm like, that really just happened. So yeah, so dragon and samurai and ninja and stealth and all energies all in me. So yeah, thank you for
Cool.
that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, like I said, totally you can work with the business model you have. I probably would pinpoint more the specific people you more so want to be targeting. You could still be open to working with anybody. You can still do that and also pinpoint who you want to be working with at the same time. Like I'm open to everybody and I'm being more guided to work with these type of people right now. And then you don't have to turn people away. You don't have to do that. You don't want to for now, right?
Yeah.
You know, but I will say that it's just for our listeners, and maybe it's for you too, but people get too caught up sometimes on the idea of like being turned away. I understand what you mean. Like if somebody shows up, it was for a reason, but we don't always know what that reason is. It doesn't always mean like we just work with them for free or whatever, like or whatever the arrangement is like that. It may not be the reason, all right? So maybe other reasons. So keeping that in mind, everybody. And that, yeah, a lot of times we just turning people away. Yeah, but there's so many other options out there for people that do want to charge and charge well for their client, all their clients. Just remember, like, there's lots of options like Hillis out there. Refer to Hillis for right now. Right. Refer to other people, that maybe they work on sliding scales and all this stuff. That's fine. I don't have any problem. I don't have a dogma that says people have to do anything a certain way, but I will absolutely hold people to their real truth. I'll be like, okay, what's really true here, though?
Yeah.
So that's my thing. So no worries on the business model at this point, but I would point the energy more to specific beings going forward a little bit more. So yeah, so
It
that's
is.
basically it right there, and bringing out more of the energy we talked about, and we could go on, but glad it resonated when it came through the scan part.
It did. It really did, and I do appreciate that because I never really expected to have the client base that I have working in that field. And
Mhm,
like I said, Spill was like, you can handle it, you can do it. I'm like, okay. And
mhm,
so just really, helps me to really see the space that I'm in and the space that I can work with and navigate with ease because there's a lot of this denser energy that everyone is carrying.
mhm,
And it's time for that dense energy to say bye bye.
mhm. Well, you're definitely helping to lead the way there for sure. So we're doing things a little different on the show today. Usually I would refer you right to Hillis, but we're gonna have him do a brief process here at the end as we promised. But if you want to check me out, go to yoursacredpurpose.com. You saw something, yeah, pretty brief here, but you can see like I'm planting seeds with Hillis right now, and whether he's thinking or not, I don't know, but like some part of his being is like, yeah, baby, maybe that's right for me. Some of the things I'm dropping in, that could make a huge difference. So if you'd like to experience something like that and even much more in depth reading and support, go to yoursacredpurpose.com, I should say, and get your Rock Your Sacred Purpose energy scan consultation with me. You do need to invest in it, and it's only for those that are ready to rock, all that good stuff. And we'll take a look at your chakras, your energy, your business, your money, your offers, if you have offers already, of course, and help you if you need to scale, if you need team, everything. I deal with all these different things, whatever level your business, but you got to be, typically it's like high, what I call like high achieving light leader types, so anyway, check that out there. Excuse me today here with my voice. And then also there's a free meditate, make money meditation there for you to open up your energy to abundance and money and get your downloads, clear up the chakras some to start the day. And check that out there at yoursacredpurpose.com as well. So Hillis, we're going to transfer back over to you now. I need you to keep in mind that we need to keep it relatively brief. So if you have something in 5-10 minute range, that'd be perfect as we start to begin to wrap up the show. So yeah, can't wait to experience whatever you have for us.
You know, as I never have these prepared, it's always whatever source wants me to deliver on the spot.
Yes,
And
yes.
so wherever you are, whatever you're doing in this beautiful moment, in this infinite now, just close your eyes and taking a nice big deep breath. As you allow the breath to let go, to exhale, let this be a reminder to you to know that you hold such great power within you through the breath, as the breath anchors you in every moment when you shift your awareness to this functionality of this vessel. Allowing for this energy to speak to you, as this now becomes the reminder of this life force energy that you carry, as this is the beginning of life. The element of air brings and carries the water, brings this water that is your blood to remind you of the fluidity and the changes that occur in every moment and every day, knowing that nothing is permanent, everything is temporary. As we focus on this energy, just begin to feel this beautiful white light descending down to you as it moves through the column of chakras, reminding you of your strength and of your journey to get here, not just in this moment, but to this planet, to remind you what you have signed up for, what you have volunteered for, to know that there's the strength in the volunteering of learning something new, the strength and the understanding of the learning of each and every experience, no matter how mundane or excited. Just knowing that there's a lesson in everything. There are great teachers around us to remind us about our energy, about our strength as this beautiful white light expands down through the chakra column, opening up and clearing out every single chakra from the crown, the third eye, to the throat, to the heart, to the solar plexus, to the sacral, and grounding everything and connecting it all into the root. Knowing your strength as this energy expands into your auric field, knowing the fundamental beauty that exists in the experience that you've had, the choices that you have made, knowing that all acts begin in love, whether if it's anger or hate, because hate has to be learned, anger has to be learned, but it all begins in the energy of love, love that has gone bad or tainted from experiences and confusion. But we do return to love once we allow ourselves to sit in the empathy and the compassion of others and of self. Knowing our strength and resilience to return to the place where we were born, place where we were created, the space of love, not just of this vessel, which was created on this planet, but the energy that we carry, the energy signature frequency, the resonance of our heart is otherworldly. But know this. Now is the time to see and experience your soul and allow yourselves to return to love, to know your strength, and validate yourself and your experience. That you are ever resilient and ever true. Because you are love. Just allow yourself now to just come back to this present moment. Begin to gently open your eyes and be present with yourself.
Awesome. Very nice, Hillis. Thank you so much for that. And you guys, I'm assuming like so many of you are so intuitive. Can you not sense, the energy of what flows through Hillis, right? Through the first minute, basically did 2 meditations, right? We did one earlier. We just did another one. And you can feel there's a transmission of energy that's beyond the foundation of the meditation itself that is felt for those of you that are sensitive. That if you feel that, that's telling you like this is probably an energy you want more of. So that's what I've been noticing is I feel that energy. I feel that deeper frequency that flows through Hillis naturally, and it gets infused in whatever he happens to be doing overall, talking, meditating, whatever, healing, whatever, everything, right?
Dancing, laughing.
Right. All of it. Yeah, everything. So appreciate that so much, Hillis. Appreciate you. And so if people want to check you out and contact you, or maybe want to talk with you about getting some healing, where can they go? What can they do?
So anyone can visit me at taplink.cc/Hillis Pugh. There you can see my website. You can see how to get started by filling out my client insight form. That way we can start the process of book a consultation. And you over there can also see additional free videos to understand more about the Lemurian Light work that I do, and also a meditation of creating a new story, which is one of my favorite meditations, one of my gifts to you. So everything at Hillis is there, everything from my services to my weekly podcast to all things me.
Well, that's great. That's great that you have a weekly podcast for people to tune into too. Yeah, that's what do you do on the podcast? Do you talk about all kinds of different things on that?
Yeah, it's all kind of stuff. It's for me and my co-host, we talk about everything from the energy to current events. And it's called so the show is called Friday, it's called Cosmic Insight. But we do a weekly show, and we call the weekly show Friday Night Tune-Up. And it's about half-hour, 45-minute live show to where we talk about what we talk about. And then the last 10 minutes, we do a live energy transmission of sound and light language or whatever needs to come through for everyone to receive the gift of clearing their field.
Nice. Okay, yeah, wonderful. All right, Hillis. Well, I'm just so grateful. We're going to put the link for your website in the show notes and everything. And I'm just so deeply grateful for you and having you on the show today. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. And thank you, everyone.
All right, yeah. Thanks for all our listeners. Keep on tuning in, and we'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till next time.
Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.